Hello, and welcome to reCapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at reCapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Oh, my goodness. I've been wanting to do this recap for years now. But the problem was I couldn't find it anywhere when I wanted to see it. I guess I should say that much because,
comes and goes.
It comes and goes, and I'm a vibe reader, watcher. It's a seasonal thing for me. But there's no time like the present, and I'm really excited to talk about the hit movie from 2008. I'm talking about Twilight. It is a movie rated PG. It is romance/fantasy, and it's 2 hours and 7 minutes. It was originally released November 21st, 2008. Here's a quick summary. High school student Bella Swan, always a bit of a misfit, doesn't expect life to change much when she moves from sunny Arizona to rainy Washington State. Then she meets Edward Cullen, a handsome but mysterious teen whose eyes seem to peer directly into her soul. Edward is a vampire whose family does not drink human blood, and Bella, far from being frightened, enters into a dangerous romance with her immortal soul mate. That was a lot. Here's the cast. Kristen Stewart as Bella Swan, Robert Pattinson as Edward Cullen. We have Taylor Lautner as Jacob Black. We also have Anna Kendrick as Jessica. It's really funny because she always talks about how she forgets she was in this movie, which is...
Exactly. I kept thinking about that as I was watching this. I was like, she really said, that was me?
I'm like, you don't get those checks, sis. Nikki Reed as Rosalie, Ashley Green as Alice Cullen, Jackson Therbone as Jasper, Kellen Lutz as Emmett Cullen. We also have Peter Fancinelli as Dr. Carlisle. Let's talk about Charlie. Billy Burke as Charlie Swan. We have Sarah Clark as Renee. That's the mama. Gil Birmingham as Billy Black. All right. So this film was directed by Catherine Hardwicke, and the writers, the screenplay is Melissa Rosenberg, and this is based off of the novel by Stephanie Meyer. All right, so let's look at some ratings. Rotten Tomatoes. The critics gave this film 48%.
Jesus.
Audience score is 72%. I was unable to find Google users, but IMDb gave this film 5.4 out of 10. Ashley, what is your grade for 2008 Twilight?
I want to start this by giving so much respect to the phenomenon that was Twilight. Twilight as a book, as a film series, was the second big cultural phenomenon in my childhood and life.
Yes.
After Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yep.
So Twilight for me, this first movie in particular, I remember watching it before I got into the books and I watched it just off of the love I have for Kristen Stewart at the time because I had seen her in films like Speak, and I was like,
Yes,
oh, I like her. I like vampires. Yeah, let me give this a shot. Subsequently got into Twilight because then all the girls I worked with at the time at Kohl's were like, you haven't heard about the
absolutely.
books? And I was like,
Exactly.
no. So I ran my little
Exactly.
self and got the little series. And this is one of those book series that it cracks me up now, but I was so engrossed. Like it was
Oh,
like I
absolutely.
remember walking into work at the time and like barely being able to pick my head up out of the book to remember where I was. Like it was such
Yes.
a time, you know?
It was such a
So
time.
all love and due respect to the history and the cultural phenomenon that this was. I say all that because in 2026, as a grown woman, I watch this and I deeply chuckle because it's so funny to me. First of all, seeing Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson in these roles now
Oh my
compared to
gosh.
who they are and who they've grown to become. Like
Yes.
Kristen Stewart for years was so awkward and
Oh, she
seemed
was
so
Bella.
uncomfortable in her skin. And now she is such a badass. Like she's a
Yes.
director. She's so comfy. She got this rock star little haircut right now. They asked her
Yes.
recently, Team Edward and Team Jacob. She's like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I
Period.
mean? And
Period.
then we know Robert Pattinson was barely containing his laughter through filming.
Yes.
Okay, there are scenes where you could tell he wanted to bust out laughing.
Well, it was so funny too with the recent Kristen Stewart interview when she was asked that. Someone in the comments was like, those checks have been cashed. Okay,
Baby,
like
it's so in the rear view. This was almost 20 years ago, right?
yes,
And let's not forget, they were a huge couple. And then there was
they
a cheating
were
scandal and all, there was a public
major.
apology.
This
It was
man was
such a
married.
thing.
This
Married
man,
director, baby,
she cheated
destroyed the
on a
Snow White
married man.
franchise and
Uh
what that could have been because I loved that first movie.
oh, they was so good. It's so good. But she was this is all before she came out. So I feel like she was
Before she
like,
found herself and
yes,
is living her best life. So there's so
exactly.
much that has transpired. As a film, I will say the things that still capture me is again, I love vampire lore. I love vampire stories. So that's
Yes.
still fun. You got
Same.
werewolves in this, extra layer
Love.
of fantasy.
Yeah.
Cool. There is a lot of humor that I have now as an adult watching all of this longing and a lot of the actual dialogue cracks me up now. But again, I look at it and it's a time capsule and I have
It
respect
is.
for it as a time capsule. So because for all of those reasons, Twilight gets a C for me. It's a
Okay.
C.
For me, to your point, this was so it was huge. It was so huge. Like I cannot remember if I watched the movie first or read the book, but I was doing all of it like in tandem in terms of like I remember being ready for each movie after having read the book type of deal. You know what I mean? And I remember going to the movies with my mom and my sister. I was like, hey, y'all, let's watch Twilight. Everybody's talking about it. I want to see what it's about. And we had a good time. It was a good time. And again, looking at it as a grown woman, there are major issues with their relationship dynamics that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And then some things are just unclear, you know? But did I love Rainy Washington as a backdrop? I did. I still did. To me, that goes into like it makes it very atmospheric in that way. Like you know what I mean?
Broody.
Very broody, moody. Um, and honestly, it gets better with the movies. So this was still the first movie, so the budgets were tight. But once they got a budget, oh, it was a thing to see.
Baby,
Um,
we gonna have vampire royalty coming up in this story.
that is what I'm talking about. And I did enjoy rewatching it for the podcast because I hadn't watched it in years. And so to like reacclimate myself, I'm like, oh yes, I like how the story slowly uncovers and all the good parts come out. Overall, I watched this with Amara and I was like, what did you think? Did you like it? She was like, no.
From the mouth of babes.
Girl got taste. She was like, I didn't like it. I was like, okay, babe.
From the
But for me,
mouth of babes.
I give this film a B plus, and it's solely off of nostalgia. Like it was a time. I got those books right there. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
On my bookshelf. So now, did I throw the last book? Of course I did. It was giving Bradley Cooper. What was the name of that movie? The Silver Linings Playbook. He did what every book person has always wanted to do, just like throw this book out the fucking window and be like, garbage. All right, without further ado, spoiler alert. Again, this movie is like,
if you ain't seen it, you probably ain't planning to see it.
you ain't gonna see it. All right. This movie, the story is all centered on Bella Swan. She is a teenager who lives in Arizona with her mom. Her mom got remarried, and she's kind of like, we're going to be doing our own thing. So, how about you spend some time with your dad, Charlie, in Forks, Washington? Now, polar opposite environment, right? You go from sunny Phoenix to rainy, most of the time, Forks. That'll do something to your mood. I don't know. Would you be able to make that move? I know you hate even coming back to Ohio from Florida. So,
I mean, that's a big disparity because even from here to Florida, like, is not that drastic in terms of environment. Because here you still get rain, you still get humidity, whereas you're literally going from dry heat, desert, sun to cooler, cold, rainy. Ugh. I would not have wanted to move from Arizona to Washington. That's
no,
I can't imagine living anywhere that doesn't get that much sun. I
me
struggle
either.
with not getting enough sun here for sure. So
Well, I think one of the things that the takeaway that had me chuckling to myself is Bella's just not like other girls, Ashley. Like her dad greets her with her very own beater truck, and she thinks it's the coolest thing ever. She starts school, and people are like, you made the move to here? But they're like, but you're so pale. And she's like, she stayed inside anyway. She is awfully awkward and clumsy. Yeah. And again, even with her relationship with her parents, I feel like she was kind of hard to read to an extent.
she was boring. Like, if we're gonna be honest, like as a heroine, Bella is boring.
Thank you.
She doesn't
Okay.
really have a personality outside of the relationship she forms with Edward. Think about our heroines that we've had. Think about Katniss,
Yes.
Everdeen.
I think that's why I Hunger Games up, because I was like, finally, FMC, that's a female lead character, an FMC who has a backbone, who has opinions,
Who is
who
not male
fights.
centered. Because again, we talk about, and we're going to get into all of this.
We are.
I I was disappointed then, but I'm super disappointed now with the stories. And this doesn't just go into this, is also with the After series that I've talked about, I think, on the pod a bit, but
Yeah.
that was a book series. I still love the
Yes.
first film, but they did all the subsequent films, and that is just the same level of like unhealthy love for a young lady
Attachment.
that I
Yep.
just don't enjoy. But she still even had a little bit more of a backbone and personality than Bella. Like, Bella is such a damsel in distress type character for a
Constantly.
long time in
A
this
very long
series.
time. That's a great point. And then even more recently with Farah from the Court of Thorns and Roses, at least she was interesting. I mean, she's slightly blah, but again, she learned how to hunt and take care of her family and fight for what she wants, even though it was still kind of male centric.
I will say too about Bella, it probably was though for a lot of teenage girls, uh, nice for them to see somebody who is portrayed and is so ordinary. And I mean that in a nice way of like teen girls, it can feel like very awkward years. You can feel like you
Yes.
don't really
You're not
have,
used to your body.
yeah,
That's
you
why
don't
she's
have necessarily a
clumsy.
super clear vision of who you are and even like your talents, you're developing into your womanhood. Like you don't have a clear picture of yourself. You may not have a lot of confidence. So maybe that
But to
helped with some young ladies,
Well, a
but not
lot of romance
me.
books are like that. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, that's where it's kind of like,
Yeah, it
you do
never
the bare minimum.
Bella never moved me.
Because let's also, like, did she have any hobbies or any true interests? Like, you know what I mean? She just seemed
They
kind of contrarian
they
at
didn't
times.
develop. I mean, to be fair, like Stephanie Myers didn't develop her much beforehand. Like we didn't get a lot from Bella outside of her being a new student in this new environment.
True.
We didn't get, and she likes to be by herself. So does she have
Right.
an imagination? Like I wish at least maybe she should have been a writer or something. Like if she's so
Yeah.
cerebral,
Because
let
it's
her be a
very
writer.
internal.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so she shows up to the school, and like every high school drama, there's a group of people who are the cool kids. And in Forks High School, those are the Cullens. This was odd. If you really, really, again, looking at it as a grown ass woman, foster kids that are paired up, and they also look like they're like 25 years old.
Yeah. They
Rosalie and Emmett.
they move in slow motion. They're too cool for school, that's for sure. The rest of those kids look like just little kids, you know what I mean? Like they fawned over Bella when she first came in because she's somebody new. Then you got the Cullens
Yes,
who are so unbothered.
unbothered. I will say Edward was, out of the family, the one that looks somewhat age appropriate compared to the rest of them. Alice and him are probably the ones that are like, okay, high school. I see it. And then Jasper, I don't know why they even bothered. Like, but I think fuck him. Because was he a Confederate soldier?
I think so. When we get into his history,
Yep.
I think so.
Anyway, Bella has biology class, and her desk mate is Edward. And
That
he
original him holding his nose, I get
wants
cracked up.
nothing to do with her. He he's like, he's looking at her like she stinks. Like, not stinks,
That
stinks.
was so
Okay.
funny.
And then it's like I mean, he couldn't handle it. He was gagging, and he missed several days of class,
He missed like a
which to
week.
me, but see, this is the beginning of the toxicity. Looks like he was going to gag, couldn't stand to be in her presence, and then shows up the next day, the next week saying, "Oh, hi, I'm Edward. What's your name?" Expecting her to talk to him after he treated her like garbage. And she was just like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And then even after that, he's staring her down crazy. Okay. She doesn't know what's up or down because old dude's eyes were pitch black when he first met her. Now they're like this honey gold. She's like, wait, 1+1 usually equals 2.
Now,
What
granted,
is
some
this?
people's eyes do change colors.
They do. I
Some people's
mean,
eyes do change
my
colors.
husband's eye is a prime example of whatever color he wears, his eyes turn colors.
That's
And
crazy.
I know, right? Like, why do we think that's normal?
That's crazy. What a gift. He's a mood
Oh,
ring. He's a living mood ring.
seriously. But things come ahead, Ashley, when one of her new friends, and I was upset it was a black guy because I'm always very particular of like how black people are represented.
The one black
But
man.
The black
enforce.
man loses control of the truck, almost hits her, but guess what? Edward comes in the nick of time to stop it. He immediately starts gaslighting her. How did you do that? What happened? Oh no, it was adrenaline.
I was right next to you.
I was right there. No, you weren't. You were across the freaking parking lot. Uh, enter the hospital. Dr. Cullen again continues the gaslighting. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're fine.
Can we speak on Carlisle though? What a handsome man.
Very,
What a
very.
handsome man.
Ashley, let's talk about Edward and Bella's interaction. You know, would you say that his behavior towards her was mysterious, romantic, or concerning?
It was concerning. He was rude. He was being weird. Obviously, we going into the film know the origins and the secrets and everything that's going on. So it's not a big surprise to the audience. But if this was just a random dude in high school acting like this, I would be terrified of him. It's to some extent. Like he's not behaving normally. Suddenly he has this huge fit of strength where he's able to stop a moving van. Yeah, I'd be scared of him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's so hot and cold. I wouldn't be able to trust him.
This could be a first 48 episode easy in real life.
Really, it really could. It really does. They go on this field trip to this greenhouse, and he's like, "Oh, we shouldn't be friends." And then he comes back and was like, "Oh, we can be friends." Like again, the back and forth between him and Bella, it was a lot. It was a lot. I did think it was funny though, and I wrote this down. He was like, "So what are your theories on what happened?" And she's like, "I'm thinking kryptonite and radioactive spiders." And he was like, "Oh no, those are superheroes." He's like, "What if I'm the bad guy?" And I think that was definitely the first time we get a sense of how Edward feels about himself. Like he is a self-loathing man.
Is he self-loathing or is he honest? I don't really think about vampire lore. How many vampires don't lean into the fact that they are dangerous? Like they all know, whether it's Interview with the Vampire,
That's part of
Twilight,
their power.
like
That's
baby,
part of
we
their
are
arrogance.
killers.
Yes.
We're killers.
It's so funny because I'm glad that you brought this up because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. This story, this movie, I think we have to realize this is part of why this was such a phenomenon. Vampires up until this point were Dracula. They were absolutely the bad guy. They weren't genuinely falling in love with any human persons. They were not sparkling like diamonds, shine bright like a diamond.
Still one
Like
of
the
the most ridiculous aspects of that
so
to me.
fucking random, Ashley. Just like they can't be in the sun, not because they'll evaporate or die. No, because they sparkle.
Yeah, this is definitely the most tame version, right, of vampires that we had had. We had the vampire in Brooklyn, Interview with the Vampire,
Yeah.
some of those that preceded it, where you had
Mom's date with a vampire.
yeah, like elements of love stories, but definitely always that severe danger right along with it. And I think the
And
Edward
somebody's
Bella
dying.
dynamic, yeah, the Edward Bella dynamic to your point is the first time like we've really seen or that I can think of anyway. Some people may correct us who are more have more history in the game than us on film. Um like that real like deep love between a vampire and a human that would stop them from just killing us. So
Yeah.
but the
Uh
sparkling shit, that was so lame to me. In the books, in the movie, lame. Didn't like it. Thumbs down.
well, one of Bella's father's friend, Mr. Black, his son Jacob, who I always have a little crush on her. But you know, she was a chicken for him because he's her childhood friend, right? Uh I what I did like about rewatching this movie is how they slowly unravel the lore. So there were just subtle moments of like all the high school kids were like, yes, let's go to La Push. And then she invites Edward and he's like, no, it's crowded. And she gets there and there's like no one there. And so Jacob shows up and tells her about his people. And he pretty much said that his like great grandfather struck a deal with the Cold Ones not to come over in their lands, and they promised not to tell or expose the humans of what they are. I like the mystery around Jacob and his people. And he was like, people say that we're descendant of wolves. And I don't know. I think that's what I did like about the story, just being clueless like Bella in this new place.
Were you ever Team Jacob?
I was always Team Jacob.
Oh, you were always Team Jacob. Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like
I
I
know.
remembered that, but then forgot and felt like you weren't.
So here's
Okay.
the deal. People are always like, yeah, Edward was first. I'm like, Edward's toxic as fuck. Okay. Like,
It definitely
I
wasn't healthy, but I was always Team Edward. I was never even remotely Team Jacob.
were you? I was
Yeah.
always Team Jacob, especially when he finally became got into
True
himself.
self.
Yeah, I think he turned like 18 or something.
Yeah. I will say though, like again, looking back with my adult eyes, it's not to say I don't even like to say Team Edward versus Team Jacob anymore because it's like, is the prize Bella? Okay. I think I
Wait,
want the best for Jacob no
wait.
matter what.
Team Bella needs therapy.
Yeah, like I want the best for Jacob no matter what. I think with if we talk about like the love triangle, it was just
Yeah.
always Edward. And for me, like that whole unrequited love or that friend in the wings who I love you, but I don't love you like that. Like let that person move on with their life. You know what I mean? Like I don't even
I
let's
hear
not even
you.
do this.
Well, because she was so
Enamored
like,
with Edward.
yeah, yeah.
Let it
So
go.
so let's talk more about this, right? So he can't seem to stay away from her. He claims that he is extremely protective over her. I mean, she's out shopping with the girlies, and he comes out of nowhere with his Volvo
Not the Volvo.
with these assailants trying to, get at
What a
her.
safe car for a vampire. What a safe
I
car.
know. Again, other signs of I don't think you're 17. Um, they go out to eat. She has mushroom ravioli, and he's like, I'm on a special diet. Like,
You.
Bella has questions. Okay. This is where it's like, it just seemingly comes out of nowhere. He's like, I feel very protective over you. And he makes notions of like, I can't read you. I can't tell what's going on with you. And,
Because he can
you
read
know,
minds.
because he can read minds. Because like when she started doing her research, she really didn't keep it to herself. As soon as she found out, she was like, okay, let me do some research or whatever. His hands were freezing cold. And she finally asked him, she was like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 17. How long have you been 17? He was like, for a while. And I'm like, wow, wow, wow. This is where they lose me. Okay. When they had this big revelation, he's running through the with her on his back
Bro.
like a spider monkey. They start making these declarations of love. Like, it's like the lion fell in love with the lamb. Ashley, this is
I
where
think I
they
said out
lost
loud.
me.
I think I said out loud while I was watching. I said, we used to swoon over this shit, huh? Used to swoon?
I have higher standards than that, I think, right? But okay, let's start back to what I was saying before. And we're saying I feel very protective over you. Is that romantic or a red flag for you?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, here's what I'll say. I think that the girlies, the ladies, we make a lot of concessions for the dudes we really like. You know what I mean? Like if it's a guy you ain't into, stuff like that is a turn off. But in this case, if it's a guy you're into, for him to say like, I feel protective of you, I want to help you, especially after you possibly are about to get raped or assaulted by four dudes,
Yeah.
you're probably liking it. You're probably feeling it a little bit because in that case, he literally did save you from danger. You know?
Yeah. The other thing about this dynamic is how, without reservation, she was all in, jumping with 2 feet. Talk about, I don't care. I love you. This man told you I have killed people, and she said, I don't care. Like, what was it about Edward that she was enamored with? It was it his beauty? Was it because she was a pygmy? Like I
More so, why does he like her? You know?
and okay, so I was going to go to that angle. So if you can answer that one first, because I
Okay.
have something to say about him.
Okay, let me follow. Let me follow. So first up, why does she like him? I think he made it pretty plain when he said, "Listen, this whole thing is meant to seduce you. The way I look, the way I speak, the way I smell, everything is designed to draw you in." You could tell all the little chicks at Forks High School liked him, right? All of them had crushes on him.
Absolutely.
So he's the way, especially, and let me say this one good time. The way that Edward is described in the book, he is like a Greek statue of a man type vibe.
Yes.
Was Robert Pattinson that?
Not for me. I think Connor's
No,
story would be probably a better fit.
it's a no for me too, dog. But given that perception that that's supposed to be what he is,
Yes. Yes.
it makes sense. Of course, she's a
And the
human
horrible pale makeup.
human girl lusting after this ancient, beautiful being. That makes sense.
Demon.
The inverse is what I don't understand.
And so that's the part that I wanted to ask you, because what was his attraction to her? Because what we know is the following: we know that he cannot read her mind. This makes her an anomaly. We also know that he finds her smell to be delectable. So it's like, do you love her or do you want to eat her?
I think it's the latter, and then it turns into more. I don't know, because from the first initial lust or whatever, bloodlust, whatever he had for her, when they first met, I mean, how that turns into feelings. Because again, I don't get it. Like, if they had shaped Bella beyond, I mean, I guess I say this: Bella has a lot of courage as a human, and she has a lot of compassion for the people in her life, which is great. But they didn't give me much meat to work with in terms of just like Edward has been around for a long time.
For
He's
hundreds of
he doesn't
years.
sleep. So all he does is gobble up information. He reads, he listens to music. You're 17. What the fuck do you have to talk to him about for real? You know what I mean? Like,
Ah, because we also have to remember, he said, quote, your blood is my personal brand of heroin.
so it would make more sense, and not to get so far ahead of this story, at least the werewolves they imprint. So that makes
Listen,
sense. It's as if Edward
yes,
imprinted on her, even though they allegedly don't do that.
allegedly. So apparently they're all in. I mean, they're not hiding their relationship at school. They're showing up together because high school,
That was the big to do.
when you show up with people in your car, that
That
oh
was the
yeah,
big to
we
do.
together
Suddenly
real
he's wearing
bad.
sunglasses and stuff. I said, "You are funny. You are funny."
But the big deal again, the whole giddy high school situation is like he finally claimed her, arm around the shoulder and everything.
Y'all little humans didn't stand a chance.
Didn't
Sorry.
stand a chance. But again, her friends copped it. She even said, I think it was Anna Kendrick's character. She's like, he looks like he wants to eat you or something. And it's like, you don't say. So he introduced Bella to the family. I was like, so we doing this thing, aren't we, huh? So I can't remember how I felt about this scene, but as an adult, I felt like this was secondhand embarrassment. They are happy that this human is showing up to their house, that they're making pasta and pretending that they eat just for Bella to say, "Oh, I ate already." Rosalie knew what was up. She was like, "Why are we doing this?"
Rosalie said, Who is she to me?" I liked Rosalie for the simple fact she kept it real. But
1000%.
my favorite is Alice. My favorite will always be Alice. It's my
Well,
girl.
Alice, she had like this quirkiness about her. Let's talk about the Cullens. That's right. So, who's your favorite Cullen and who's the worst Cullen for you?
Alice is absolutely my favorite Cullen, hands down. The worst, I mean, I wouldn't say the worst, but just the least interesting is probably Jasper for me. Just for the simple fact that he's very quiet. He, again, was
Mm-hmm.
the newest addition. He's struggling with not eating people. So he just was the least, like, he didn't have much going for him.
Right, right. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite Cullen. Alice probably would be up there. Edward would probably be up there. They're probably tied. And I just really could not connect with Jasper, especially after I found out like he was some type of like Confederate soldier. I'm just like, no, thank you.
Well, hopefully he's changed his ways after all these years. But
Hopefully. But again, I was surprised on how fast Edward was like, okay, we're together. This is my family. This is my backstory. Like, were you surprised on like how fast this relationship developed?
I don't think I thought about it like that remotely at the time because
Mm,
it for the movie's sake did not feel like it was too quick. And Edward's been around the block again, as I said. So I guess, once he has makes up his mind about something, why not? I will say the only thing that made a lot of sense was like Rosalie was the voice of reason about the dangers that it posed to
yes.
their family. But then also, what danger is Bella in being around y'all?
All of y'all vegetarian ass vampires,
That's like
like
bringing her in a house of like lions,
hungry
but the lions are
lions.
all like tamed at the moment. You could die anytime,
Well, that's what I feel part of Rosalie's anger is. I'm like, she's probably like, why did you bring your pet around here? Like,
basically. Basically.
but yeah, so some fun facts about Edward. I talked a little bit about his backstory. Apparently, he was dying of influenza. The you remember the last global pandemic, 1918? Who would have thought we would have experienced that in
Mm,
2020?
mm.
But of course, Dr. Cullen decided, hey, I can give you a second act. I forgot that Edward was the first to transform, and then Esme. He tells her that they feed off of animals, and they've been doing that for some time. This is my biggest question, Ashley. He shows her the wall of graduation hats. I why are they wasting their time in high school? I know
He's,
ultimately he said
yeah,
the
the younger we
the younger they
start.
are, the longer they can stay. But you can't pay me to do high school again.
Well, that and like y'all can live anywhere. So
And
why
y'all
do
ain't
this?
broke.
Yeah, like why live here and do this? You know what I mean? Like y'all are vampires. You can go anywhere, you can do anything. But I think we've seen this in so many projects over the years. Being vampires and that existence can be so lonely. So I wonder if they've just found, even with having their family together, that it makes life better when they're able to blend into a community environment and do things they're passionate about, like Carlisle being a doctor and all these things. So that maybe to them that's just a small sacrifice to be able to be a part of society and feel normal.
So We also find out that Edward doesn't sleep. You mentioned this as well. Again, with his attraction to her, again, for me, it's unhealthy because, again, it's like you want to eat her and you think she smells delicious. He sits up and watch her sleep. Is that supposed to be romantic?
To him. But why in this adaptation do y'all not sleep? Where are my coffins?
Where are the coffins? But I think, that plays into this flipping this vampire lore on its head, right? They don't sleep. So there's no coffins, there's no crosses or garlic or holy water. You know what I mean? It's
Not sleeping sounds awful. I don't want to have any existence where I don't sleep. Sounds awful.
we all need to reboot
We all need just an
sometimes.
off switch.
We
Can you
do.
imagine being conscious 24/7, 365? My God. My God.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Talk about eternity. Shit.
Like,
Sheesh.
even God rests.
Girl. Good grief.
So, why Bella's getting caught up in the fairy tale Cullens. Real world vampires are out here wreaking havoc
Live it
in
up.
Forks, Washington State. Okay. Again, they kill one of Bella's father's friends. They're just leaving a pile of bodies. So you have that lurking in the background. One day it's thundering and lightning, and the Cullens were like, this was the perfect time to play baseball. This is actually one of the most iconic scenes. For me, I'm a little indifferent, but what about you? What do you think about this whole baseball scene where they crack the ball because it sounds like thunder and they are able to run really fast, you know?
At least it's fun. Like at least it shows that they're able to have some fun and have a little bit of levity
Yeah,
in the existence. I don't think I've ever seen another vampire depiction where they're playing a sport. So that was interesting. I will say watching it this time, I was like, y'all really not hitting it that far for all this
I
strength and
know.
power.
Thank you. Exactly.
But it was fun.
It was fun. And unfortunately, it caught the attention of James, Victoria, and Laurent. These are the three bad vampires, and they want Bella, James in particular.
Y'all could not tell
And
me nothing about Cam Gigande. That was my boo back in the day.
he looks so young watching it. I'm like, oh, look at him.
Between
He's
this
super
and
cute.
Burlesque, whew, loved.
Yeah. James is obsessed with Bella. The Cullens are determined to protect her. They're setting up ways to like distract them, and they think they're successful, but they're not. Bella is lured into the ballet studio and manages to get bit by freaking James. And, Edward arrives, but it's a little too late because Bella is injured. And he has to do the one thing that he swore he would never do, Ashley, and that is to suck her blood, okay, to get the venom out. Bella nearly dies. Are you feeling sorry for Edward for this moment? Are you thinking he's doing what he has to do to save his love?
He's doing what he has. I didn't feel bad at all. He's a big boy. He can do it. I will say though, Bella got on my nerves because what you mean? This vampire, probably ancient vampire who's hunting you, calls you and lures you by yourself to a studio. You think you're smarter than all these other vampires trying to help protect you. That you're not gonna say nothing to nobody. What are they? The fucking police? Bella, if you
It
don't
pisses
open
me
your mouth.
off. That is what I'm saying.
She's so
That is what I am
goofy.
saying. Again, to your point, ancient vampire and your frontal lobe is yet to be developed. And you're like, I know.
She's
That's what
so
your ass got
goofy.
bit. Like I
She's so goofy.
oh my goodness. And of course, again, Edward in this self-loathing, like, pretending to sleep, knowing good and well he does not. Her family shows up and they see about her. And of course, like every teen movie, it ends with prom. She was determined to go to this dance. She showed up with her boot, and Edward took her, claimed her again. That's her date. That's her man.
My man, my man, my man.
She asked this man to turn her into a vampire, Ashley.
She knows what she wants. There's no turning back now. Humanity be damned.
I'm like, I guess I was going to say, is your life that boring? And the answer is
Yes.
yes.
Yes, it is.
But you met this man 2 seconds ago, and you're like, I want to be like you for eternity.
Hasn't thought through any of the implications of what that means for herself, her life,
Actually
her
dying.
family.
Yes.
Yeah, determined. And we were all drawn into it. We were all like, yes, girl, get your man and get your eternity.
Was. Actually, that was part of the reason why I was Team Jacob, because I was like, at least if you're with Jacob, you can live. Like, you're asking to die to be with Edward.
That's fair. Well, you may not be dead, but your soul is dead, which means you're damned.
Damned. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I will say, someone that looks like AMC Lestat, though, could convince me. No, just joking. He's handsome, though.
This is
He's
why
so handsome.
If we talk about the lore, fantasy wise, vampires are my favorite because look at who they be casting and the sex appeal of these vampires. For me, it really was Stefan off of Vampire Diaries. Me and Stefan, we would have had a great time.
Which one is that one?
Stefan is the one. Damon is who
I know Damon,
the baddie was that Nina dated in real life. I was never Team Damon. It was always Team Stefan.
Well, didn't the whole show fall apart though?
Nina left. She left after season 6. I stopped watching. I never finished it because then they ended up having Stefan with Caroline, and I'm not playing all these games. It was Stefan and what the hell was her name?
Did you read those books?
Nina. No. What the hell is her name? Elena. So
when I asked you if he was okay, the question that I actually did have is he pretty much had to choose between saving Bella or resisting his giving into his thirst.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have any doubts in his ability to resist after getting that taste?
No, because at this point they made it seem like, it was a love thing now. He's able to put away his carnal desires to be with this woman. Even though he could barely kiss her before without trying to rip her throat out.
Trembling. Okay. Where was Charlie? I mean, if you think about it, her obsession with the Cullens kind of made sense because he was busy and she was out here living her best life with these bloodsuckers. Ashley, rapid fire questions. Did Edward have any green flags?
Did Edward have any green flags? I think the green flags for Edward were that he was a vegetarian.
Yes.
That's a green flag.
Great job.
Yep.
I was coming up blank.
Yep. He had love and respect for his family. He was a family man. Green those are probably the two biggies. Everything else in another context or in someone y'all did not like and have a little crush on, he was a stalker.
You know what's so funny? When I was watching this film and knowing the era of books then and what a lot of these women grew up to be in the books that I'm reading now, I'm like, oh, she's the mother of all this, because obviously we know that 50 Shades of Grey came out of Twilight, which is the grown and sexy version of an unhealthy codependent relationship. Uh,
With contracts and terms.
and red rooms. But you know how many books I've read, dark romantasy, where the guy is the stalker, or they just have these unhealthy relationships with these men, but they love them and he
Yeah,
has
won't leave them
money
alone.
and
Yeah.
won't leave them alone. Yeah, it's quite crazy. At Forks High School, did you have a favorite friend?
A favorite friend. Would she have like two? Probably. I mean, I thought Jessica's one-liners were good. I enjoy,
Yeah,
but I enjoy Anna Kendrick. So it's Anna
yeah.
Kendrick's delivery, regardless if she remembers being in this or not, that I enjoyed.
If you were Bella, would you tell your dad about vampires?
No, I don't think so because who it's not going to help him in any way. It's going to endanger him. He's a police officer too. So there's that element of him probably feeling like he needs to save you or save somebody. And that was just going to get him killed. So no.
Would you date a vampire?
Oof, that's a tough question. It's a tough question for me because again, I love this shit. Like I
I
love
know.
vampires and the sexiness of it. In reality, no, right? Like in reality, no.
Yeah,
That's not going to be a good thing.
it's the
But in
diet. Is
in
it the
a
diet or the
it's
damned
it's all the
part?
things. It's a lot of things. That's a hard life. It's a tough life for a little human. But in if you put me in a fantasy version, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do it. Let's have a good time. Let's see what happens.
And
Inevitably, I
then
will probably die though, because it never works
yeah,
out for the humans.
it never does.
No,
And was there any romantic scene in this movie as an adult? Because
absolutely not.
I know.
Absolutely not. Like I said, I was trying my best to like not just laugh
Listen,
throughout
actually, there
this.
are movies we have rewatched that I have definitely felt the feels for. Like, oh, their chemistry was chemistry in.
Yes.
It was good. Did they have chemistry? Like, she was so awkward and just like the opposite of being cozy. Shout out, comfortable in my skin. And then Edward is just staring her down like a maniac. I just could not get into it at
No.
all.
That's why my hidden gem is a young adult movie that we talk about and I've watched many, many times, but that does still give me the vibes and feels because it's like the counter to how I felt about Twilight, which,
Oh
yeah, to
my
your point,
gosh.
like I know that they went red hot and they were a big time couple at the time, but I did not feel anything watching this time. Like I don't feel anything. I'm not rooting for them in any type of way. I didn't have any of that. And if anything, I found a lot of the dialogue to be epically corny
Oh,
now.
it was so not good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, Ashley, what's your final thoughts for Twilight?
Like I said, I will always have respect for the phenomenon this was at the time, but it reminds me of kind of how I feel about Dawson's Creek now, watching it as an adult. Like some of it is just rough. Like it's not going to stand the test of time
Right.
type of, entertainment, but it is what it is. And I'm sure those residuals are still residualing, which is great. And to your point, the films definitely do get progressively better. That epic final scene we talk about and that we watched in theaters of that battle with the Volturi baby, that is worth a rewatch, if nothing else.
Yes.
It was so good. But yeah, I mean, I still love Alice, so that's something. Shout out to Ashley Green. But I think this will be one that'll stay tightly tucked away in the catalog for the foreseeable future. What about you?
Final thoughts. As you mentioned, the Twilight Saga as a series grossed $3.36 billion
Crazy.
worldwide.
Crazy.
Okay. It spanned it. honestly, my college years from 2008 to 2012. Okay. And I was in the theaters for every single one of them. Okay. The soundtrack for the first one, my band Paramore sang Decoded. I loved them before they sang the song, but this put them on the map. Shout out to Haley Williams.
Mm.
How did we get here? Um, it was a moment. It gets very sticky. It's a sticky situation at the very, very end. With the role that Jacob actually plays, to the point where I'm like, what the fuck happened and why did we let this why didn't we fight this? Imprinting on my fetus. Got it.
Crazy. Took pedophilia
Um
to a different level.
Listen, but she grows up so fast.
Yep.
You have to remember that.
Yeah. And he's there as her companion in different phases as she needs. Allegedly. Even though he got his eye on her the whole time.
And then Edward didn't scratch his eyes out, which is like, okay, father.
Yeah.
Ashley, I have to ask you,
Mhm.
should we continue this train ride?
Totally up to you, boo. Totally
I
up to
keep
you.
y'all posted. I keep y'all posted.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley. Well, that's all I have for this week. What do we have for hidden gems?
Sorry about that. All right. I already teased it when we were just chatting, but there is a movie that I absolutely adore, in the words of It Takes Two. Uh and it is a young adult novel and film, and that is Everything Everything, and it is available right now to stream on Prime. So I did rewatch, even though I have it on DVD. Stars Amanda Steinberg and Nick Robinson. This is the
Yay.
film I fell in love with Nick Robinson on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Steinberg plays a young lady who is stuck in the house. She has allegedly a immune disorder that prevents her from being out and amongst the people. And yet and still, she has a new neighbor, Ollie, who moves in, and they develop a love story. And when I say that this film still makes me swoon, and the little moments that they share and the dialogue, I absolutely adore this movie. I liked the book a lot as well, but I think some of the whimsy that comes with the film adaptation too, which shout out to Stella McGee who directed it, is the choices in music and the soundtrack, as well as a lot of their conversation is not just like text bubbles, but it's these fantastical or fantasy moments where they're like in her model that she developed and they're having a conversation there, and they're in a library in one scene and having a conversation there. Like it adds a level of whimsy to the story too. There's adventure. Like I just, you talk about a teen movie that even as an adult still gets me, and the like chemistry between Amanda and Nick, and like the tension, and it didn't have to be super sexual or crazy, but they were just
Right.
so cute.
Yeah.
I adore this movie. So if you guys have not seen it, everything is available to stream on Prime. Delora, what is yours?
Thank you, Ashley. I have one hidden gem this week. It is two of my favorite people. It is an interview available on YouTube. The great Law Roach was interviewed by ZIWE. The title of this particular interview is called Law Roach is an Iconic Guest. We know ZIWE and her legendary interviews, and this one did not disappoint. Law, I love Law. I've been following Law obviously for some time, but I've bought his book. I think I've even had it as a hidden gem previously. Still recommend it. Um, I loved him on the HBO show where they did voguing. What was the name of that show? It's escaping me now.
Is it legendary?
I think so. But obviously now he's on Project Runway, and
Yes,
he's
legendary.
now known to being, a bit of a Sam Kyle type of judge, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, he's not afraid to say what needs to be said, and he takes that persona into this interview, and it is iconic, like the title says. Like, she said, say your name and your pronoun, and he's like, my pronoun is bitch, and she's like, with a capital B. Law was like, always. And then it's just certain situations where he was just I cackled, and the fact that she even was caught off guard had me cackling, because she's the one that's, straight
Mm-hmm.
face interviewer. She knows exactly what she's doing with the setup. Law had her cackling too, and it was so funny. Like, at one point, Law said that Celine Dion is not a white woman. And then she was like, how does it feel dressing people of the Hunger Games, like a like a
The first District 1.
District 1 Hunger Games? He was like, I dress rich people. Like, had
Yeah.
no
I dress
shame.
people who can afford me. One of my favorites was the hair thing where she asked about his hair and he let her touch his hair. And then he was like, can I touch yours? He was like, feels different.
It's different. It was the prolonged eye contact.
Yeah, he
What
sat
she
back in
said.
that. He sat back and let her fully absorb that. That was a moment. A moment.
Oh my. So yeah, it brought me joy, and I hope it brings you joy too. I enjoy ZIWE and her interviews. It's a
Girl,
shame she no longer has her shows, but I'm so glad that she still has, you know,
a platform.
YouTube has a platform to keep doing what she's doing, because
Listen,
she's destined to get another one.
the Vince Staples clips alone still feed me on a very regular basis.
She had freaking New York, Tiffany Pollard.
She sure did. Yeah.
Her and Kevin Hart also. Kevin Hart couldn't keep up for whatever
No, it
reason.
was not. He was not one of my faves at all. I even liked I can't think of his name right now. He's an actor. He was one of the more recent guests. I thought he had better banter with her than Kevin
Uh,
did.
Jabuki.
Yeah. Yep.
I also loved her. Leslie Jones and her also was really funny.
Yeah. Leslie Jones with
Yes.
Speedy recently was
Yes.
awesome. So
That was
Speedy,
iconic.
I didn't realize how good Speedy was until some of his complex interviews with like Glorilla and some of those people, because he used to be a host of one of the fashion shows, like the streetwear fashion shows I used to watch all the time. And I didn't know. I didn't know Speedy. I didn't know.
I didn't know he could keep up. And he
Oh my
had
God.
Leslie blushing.
Oh my God. I love me some Speedy. He's amazing.
All right. So that's what we have this week.
Yes, thank you guys so much for listening to this recap of Twilight. It's been a ride. Please let us know your thoughts on the 2008 classic, because it is a classic film.
TBT. Yep.
Let us know if you guys want us to continue down the rabbit hole, as Delora mentioned, of the rest of the series. Happy to do it if you guys like to hear it. Please let us know your thoughts on anything else we've discussed today, and share this episode out with everybody you know. We will be back with more in headlines and hot topics, but in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.